Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass. Yeah, I'm stacking them, yeah, yeah. Riding with country bass, country bass.
Never sell my Bitcoin. Held me down through the dark nights when the whole world said let go, let go. I held on tight. Never sell my Bitcoin. Diamond hands through the hard times. Now we shining like the sunrise. We alive tonight. Hold on. Moonlight. Everybody left me. Said I lost my sanity. Charts more doubt. We survive. Deep inside, no more doubt. We survive. Never sell. Hands up, ring the bell. We're doing well. Oh, never sell. Moonlight in the air. Freedom everywhere. Oh, never sell. Hands up, ring the bell. Doing well. Our ways broken laws, but I kept the faith. Now I'm route. I sing higher, higher every day. Never sell my Bitcoin. Cut me down through the dark nights, when the whole world said let go. I held on tight. Never sell my Bitcoin. Diamond hands through the hard times. Now we shining like the sunrise. We alive tonight. Never
Barefoot stepping on the shoreline.
feels like
Time is frozen in the light.
juice dripping like the summer air everywhere.
You and me just vibing slow.
Don't let go,
Everything is soft and gold.
let it flow. Don't fade away.
Stay with me.
I can feel it in my soul.
Let it go.
Higher, higher.
Slow it down.
Watermelon skies and grapes in the sun.
We don't need a reason, just fun.
Yeah, dancing on the ocean floor.
I want more.
Watermelon skies and grapes in the sun. You're the only one,
Heartbeats moving,
like the tide.
come alive.
Sunset pouring on your skin, let me in. Every laugh becomes a wave.
That we crave,
No more worries in the air,
we're right there,
floating somewhere in between.
like a dream.
Ooh, I feel it rising,
Yeah.
so surprising.
Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop.
This love
Everybody running, everybody rushing, I'm still right here. Heart don't lie, eyes on the horizon, bullish on you. Bullish on you. Higher, higher, never coming down. Bullish on you. Dance, breathe, everybody running, everybody rushing, I'm still right here. Heart don't lie, eyes on the horizon, bullish on you. Bullish on you.
Boy, you walked in like a sunrise, changed my whole life. I was stuck in all the wrong nights, then you fell right. Now I don't need much, just your hand in mine. Slow down time. Used to chase everything I thought I wanted. Now I've got it. You're my calm in the chaos, my way through everything I
Yo, yo, mic check on two. Testing, testing. Hope you guys are doing good. Happy, what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. See how the audio is real quick. Make sure audio isn't too crazy. Audio should be good besides the music in the background, so never mind that. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Bitcoin Chris checking in yet again. So right now we're looking at the Bitcoin chart, the Bitcoin chart, the Bitcoin chart. Right now we're on the 30-minute time frame, as you guys have been watching here for the last, how long have I been streaming? About 10 minutes here. I've been going through the time frames and pretty much showing you guys the levels here. So I'll walk you guys through the analysis here. Even though this does look like an inverse head and shoulders, we still could come down. So we're going to have to wait and see. Well, let's see if we can get that drawn out here. I don't know if it's still valid. I don't know if this would play out. It's based on everything that's going on, but we're going to see, right? We're going to have to wait and see. Okay, so the target will still be up here at 74,000, even though I don't think we're going to head up. We do have an inverse head and shoulders that could possibly play out, which I've already spoke about. So we're going to dive into obviously some tweets and the things that are on my mind today. So we're going to rant today. You guys going to hear some of the rants today. Hopefully, you don't get offended and you put on your big boy pants and your big girl pants. Everybody has their opinions, right? And some people don't need to express those opinions, but I feel like some people have great opinions and points of views, and some people just don't have common sense, right? And everybody has a voice now, and everybody has a phone and a camera, and everybody's opinion matters. No, some people's opinions don't matter. Unfortunately, sorry to break the news to you. Some of you guys don't need a smartphone because your ass is dumb. All right, but I'm gonna digress on that. Inverse head and shoulders could possibly play out, but again, if not, I did draw the levels down below in the beginning of this stream, and here we are at, I'm thinking 62. Maybe come back up, test 63, down to 61, down to 60, retest 61, down to 58. If we can't hold 58, 57, coming down to 53, can't hold 53, down to 50. And I'm still waiting for 50K, so hopefully that will happen. But I do want to show, we're going to jump into some tweets here in just a moment, but of course we got to jump through these TAs real quick, right? We got to jump through the TA real quick because y'all don't listen, and it's okay. You don't have to listen. I'm just here to try to help. I can't help everybody. Would you look at that? How much are we down? Damn, if I would have opened up some puts, that would have been crazy. I didn't even think about it. Down damn near 50% on SpaceX. You put 5,000 in, you have 2,500. You have 100,000, you have 50,000. You put a million in, you have 500,000. You put 500 in, you got 250. So, again, I told y'all this is most likely going to dump. Everybody was saying, oh, they have scheduled time that they're going to release and sell off, and they're not going to dump it on retail. Oh, what's this then? Everybody was so confident. Confidence. How are you confident and wrong, bruh? How are you confident and loud and wrong? That's what I don't get. So let's pull this fib here just to see how this played out. We can do the bounce to the top. It didn't quite hit there. Well, let's see if we can bring this down a little bit. Oh yeah, that's more like it. All right, so you could have took the candle to the low up to the 6.18. That's your short to get in, and your target is 1.2, and then the 1.618 actually hit. Look at that. Boom. So first target, second target, third target. If this thing dumps all the way down to $46, that would be crazy. It's another 50% from here. It's crazy. I don't know if we do that, but these targets hit. So fibs are there. Fibs never fail. Oil back up. Obviously, we got some tension going on in the Middle East. We have our GBP. We're probably going to do a long here. It's back up to the top. And then we just hit a new day. Said it's a new day on here. So Nvidia better hold. If the Nvidia does not hold here, we're coming down 165 for Nvidia if we do not hold. Coinbase had an inverse head and shoulders played out and reversed. If we can't hold 158, back down to 115. We got NASDAQ coming down. Support probably 26,000. Yep, 26,000 will be the first level of support, and then 24. If we lose 24, 24, 20. So if we lose 25, I don't think we'll come down all the way down there. We're running down 10%. Wow. Maybe 20% correction would be okay. You have to wait and see how this plays out. I think 25,000 would be the target for this actual asset. 26. I'll do 26, then 25. Will be the range there. Some NQ. We got Young Money, aka YM. Bearish. The whole. Well, this is crazy. I'm on delayed too, so I gotta get the updated time. This is bearish. I don't have my. What's on the daily? So still be showing. All right, so that's next level for this would be 50,000 for YM. 3%. Support is at 7,258. If we lose that, 7,000. Maybe fill this gap. We got one gap here, two gaps here. Maybe fill down. Fill this gap. How much is that? 10%. All the charts look the same. And this is the craziest one. And the reason why this is the craziest one is because I called this. Let's go ahead and jump into Twitter now, because I'm pretty much done with TA. All right, so we got a few tweets to go through, so let me go ahead and go through these real quick. I thought I followed you, bro. All right, so we're gonna just continue to scroll through here the timeline. July 2nd, that's September on SNDK. The price was 1,700. We're now at $1,000. Wow. Who called that? I did. Timber. And here is what I was referring to in regards to the NAS 100. We were at 28,573. And then on the 28th, so this was one day, the 20th. So it's been 8 days. Today is another day, so it's been 9 days. And that's 27,795. And then the last one here is 27,121. Excellent shorting opportunity. All right, so now we're gonna jump into we just did TA, so that's enough of the TA. I think I've actually proved my point, which I've done several times over the years. All right, and I just wanted to make sure that the point was understood. Now, back to regular scheduled programming. So we have sheep behavior. So let's scroll up to the sheep behavior. Going to touch on the sheep behavior here. And the sheep behavior, as you guys should already know, is a part of sheep behavior is going to be included with this tweet here. Not watching any of the theatrics today because that's all it is theatrics. They're all part of the scam, the pandemic, massive sacrifice rituals, and the PDF files. I'm good. Serve God, stack Bitcoin, become sovereign, use trust, and escape the matrix. Build that family legacy, guys. Until if you're not worried about it, that's not what you're focused on. You're focused on the wrong things, guys. All right, so here we are. Definitely want to recommend that you read this book about trust. So here it is right here. Definitely go check that out. We got the Bitcoin virgins coming in, right? They're not sheep at all, but they are blind, is what I call them here. So I call them Bitcoin virgins, right? They come by the flock each day and month by month and year by year. So they just now realize what money is and can't stop tweeting. Yet they are not sovereign. Work for the man and get taxed, have no trust, no life insurance, and brag about a 401k. It's the blind leading the blind because they own everything in their names and they get taxed and make fun of people who stand up for their rights because they're ignorant of the law and everyone takes full advantage of your or their stupidity, right? Boom. Because that has happened to me as well. I've gone into these rooms and I've said, the things that are not popular but are factual and lawful, and they called me crazy, right? But it's all good. Who's crazy now? They start new podcast videos, posting content. They barely get traction because they're, one, not relatable, or two, can't break it down in a way that the rest of the NPCs will understand. Because the people that understand, we don't need another Bitcoin podcast, right? We need something that's actually going to move the needle. We need to make revenue. We need to invest. We need to make money to buy more Bitcoin, right? And we need to focus on, again, the most important things in life and not the matrix and what they're doing, right? And the things that they have set up for us to fail, like a 401k, like taxes, like trust. Well, no. Trust is what you should be, but they don't teach you about trust. They don't teach you about life insurance policies. They don't teach you about any of these things, right? So let's continue here. Trying to break people from the matrix is not what we are here to do. We are here to show them that there's another way to transact. So it's basically the red pill or the blue pill. The red pill, the orange pill, or the blue pill. You decide what kind of pill you want to take, right? Price everything in Bitcoin, not dollars. Long-term outlook and a better and become a better man or woman in the process of learning and growing. In my opinion, spaces are whack. The podcasts are whack. Everything seems lame to me, seeing how society has changed so much in the past 6 years. Of course, the cost of goods have skyrocketed, and of course, so the cost of goods has skyrocketed, of course, but the morale has gone way, way, way down. Content and the trash talking points, racial tension, mainstream media lies, mass surveillance, PDF files, violation of rights, bank fraud, police have no accountability, nor the politician, and the list goes on and on and on. Stack your Bitcoin and chill. Everything else is noise to distract you from what the real goal is and what's important. And thanks for listening to my TED Talk. And we just gotta continue here because we're talking about the sheep here, right? So this is in 2021, and I was traveling all 2020, all 2021. I was in Mexico. I was in where was I at? California. I was in, all throughout the scamdemic. I was in California. I was in Texas. I was in Florida, South Florida. I was traveling everywhere, pretty much, everywhere that I wanted to travel. And they said that you needed a vax to travel. I did not get vaxxed, and I'm proud I didn't get vaxxed. And sheep behavior, because again, we share these things and we tell people these things and we tweet these things years ago, literally documented years ago. And it's just crazy how time flies. And you just got to stand on business, guys. You guys are not standing on business, guys. This was 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago. All right, here. This is 2021. Unvaxxed sperm, cash into Bitcoin. We mentioned this about a month or so ago. Max Kaiser. There's people out here walking by themselves with masks on. This is the sheep behavior that we're referring to right here. Walking outside with masks on by themselves. People in the car driving by themselves with a mask on. People complaining about people not wearing masks, but they have a mask on. So it's like, I don't get it, but it is what it is. Holy, like we didn't need the government, or smart people, non-sheep, did not need the government to tell us that COVID was created in a lab in China, right? We already knew that. And the fact that you had to wait for the government to confirm or to tell you the truth, which was already known, shows how much of a sheep you really are. Because again, this is something that we already knew. And on top of that, they came out with it's called, they did the hyperspeed, warp speed for the vaccines, and it didn't test it on anybody, and everybody just decided to take it. So it is what it is. This is sheep behavior, man. The government doesn't classify shit for decades. And y'all sheep wait and rely on mainstream media, the lying pieces of that hate you, steal from you, and want to kill you, and have done absolutely nothing to any of the PDF files. 95% fear that they push on these mainstream media, airwaves, televisions, tell lies through visions. So fear and negativity, one-sided control. So it's negative and one-sided. And what side is that? The side that's evil, right? So it's all evil, mainstream media, these government officials. And if you don't know that by now, you're a sheep. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you got to say. They have the control. It's chess. It's controlled opposition, left and right, Republican, Democrat, rich, poor, white, black, whatever it is that y'all want to fight about. They control it, and they do it all with the power of the mainstream media. Right? Problem, so they have the problem, they create the problem, and they have the answer for you guys. They don't cover the fluoride in the water. They don't cover or if they do cover about the fluoride in the water, there's nothing done. The government doesn't really do anything. I think they're the ones who have the fluoride in the water to make everybody passive and sheep and soft and docile. Well, I think would be the proper terminology. So the government spraying metals in the sky, they're also committing fraud, financial fraud. The list goes on and on and on. Yeah. Anyways, so that's that. Let's continue here. And now we're gonna jump into another bit of my, a little bit of another rant right here. So I think I've been not only screaming but sharing Pokemon and Bitcoin since March, but I've been posting about Bitcoin way before March, obviously. But just for this post and this actual topic here, ahead of the curve, right? So nobody was talking about Bitcoin. I mean, nobody was talking about Pokemon, right? And let alone using Pokemon to be your catalyst or your instrument of or asset of choice to multiply your revenue or multiply your net worth or multiply your your investments, right? Just to multiply your money, right? So most people didn't understand the collectibles market, and people still don't understand it, and that's fine. There's always going to be people that don't understand it, but I could kind of tell. It's funny because I have to find the tweet as well, but I said that we're giving Topish vibes um, in the Pokemon space, and what do you know? We pull back on the Pokemon space, right? All the cards are starting to pull back. Everybody's everybody that's late, right? Getting in, buying the Charizard at the top, buying the Gengar at the top, buying the Pikachu at the top, buying all the cards at the top because all the cards came down in price. So again, why would you wait until everybody on your timeline is speaking about a specific topic such as SpaceX, such as your most popular scam token, your latest scam token, uh, even Bitcoin, right? And Doge is a great example of that. Everybody and their mom was talking about Doge, and then Doge, and then Elon goes on Saturday Night Live, and then proceeds to dump when everybody and their mama is in the asset, right? Because you guys are exit liquidity. But let me read the tweet. Yes, again, ahead of the curve, per usual. Now everybody and their mom's talking about Pokemon cards and wants to implement Pokemon cards and wants to do stuff with Pokemon cards. It's giving me Topish vibes, which I've said this before today, but there's a couple new sets coming out. So I'm pretty sure the card sets that are out now, they're going to probably continue to they're probably going to consolidate at this level or dump a little bit more, and then in the future, these assets, collectibles, will go up. So people move too slow when it comes to new technology and new ways of doing things, and this is exactly why people are brokies. You are the exit liquidity. Stop being a loser. Question mark. Stop being a loser. Will you stop being a loser? Who only does something when everybody else does it. That's how you get slaughtered. That's what we call sheep behavior or even pig behavior, right? Pigs get slaughtered, right? Stop being sheep. We have to stop being sheep. It's $100 across the asset classes to May 2026. I have to ask for it to bring out the actual numbers. Maybe we can see it here. Oh, okay. So $100 in 1999 is 400,000 in 226. Bitcoin $100 in 2010 is 162 million. Of course, that's the best. And the S&P $100 is only $852. Probably less than that now because I think we're probably lower than when I made this. So of course, Bitcoin is the best asset, obviously. But again, the second best. Numbers don't lie. Men lie. Women lie. Numbers don't lie. So I don't like to carry around gold. I don't like silver like that. I mean, it's good to have those assets, but again, why would I hold those assets when I probably should have put, maybe I can do gold and silver onto this chart as well. I know sugar's been going ham. I know meat has been going ham. So that's besides the point, right? The point is, it's Bitcoin and Pokemon, all right? Because I don't got time to be looking at all these other asset classes, right? There's too many stocks, too many scam tokens, too many opportunities. I want to do what I like to do. What do I like to do? I like to chill, stack Bitcoin. My son is 16. We collect Pokemon cards. This grown ass adults that make thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the collectible space. So why not? I grew up with Pokemon. I don't see why this is an issue for most adults. Maybe because you're a slave and don't have time to enjoy yourself or don't want to look up and do your research. So it's not even just Pokemon, it's actually the trading card game in general. I was speaking with the homie earlier and we were talking about uh, One Piece, we were talking about DBZ, Larcana, and Pokemon. And of course, there's other trading card games, but those are the ones that I'm really like looking into because, in my opinion, the ROI is just amazing, right? So that's that. Uh, Even to the point where I'm creating, and these I've been made these. I'm just resharing all these things again. I think I did make this in 2025. I'm not sure when I made it. But imagine, I mean, there is a trading card game out right now. I think it's the Bitcoin trading cards. But I don't think they're. I mean, I'm sure they're popping. I don't really think the cards are that popping based on what I've seen. But it is what it is. I would probably create something like. If I were to create something, I would probably create something like this. And if I did create it, I probably wouldn't sell it because people are a little bit slow. And so these would just probably be my collectibles, or maybe just make 2100 or 21,000, 2100, yeah, or 21. I mean, just depends on the market, man. I don't know. I wouldn't make these to sell. I'd probably make these custom or just to have, right? And then we have AI, of course. And you see your friend consuming mainstream media. Okay, yeah, we went through all this already. Cool. So boom. So that was that. Let me see what else I wanted to talk about today. Trade call out. So we went over the sheep behavior. We went over Bitcoin to 50K and stocks and TA a little bit. We did trade call outs, which I did give. We went over the Pokemon section, and now we're gonna go over some law, and that'll be it for today's. That'll be it for today's live stream because I'm about to get some food. I'm a little hungry. All right, so boom. All right, so let's jump into some law real quick because I love the law. I love the law. And what we're going to discuss is one thing that I found is that what they're doing with the LLMs, large language models, aka AI is what we call them, right? What they're doing now is a lot of wise and smart people were using and are using ChatGPT to. And ChatGPT is trash, by the way. Depends on what you're using it for, but in my opinion, it's trash. Um, But what they're doing is they're putting these guardrails up. They did the same thing with Fable and Claude, and they're making the LLMs not hallucinate, but they have guardrails up, and they're not allowed. They're giving you wrong information and false information, pretty much, especially when it comes to law. So what we're going to look at here is just some laws here. What should I do for law for this? There's just so many. Hmm. 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 There's there's a lot that I can go over, but I'm trying to find the best example. And I guess the best example, in my opinion, would be what I've actually done. And a lot of things that I'm teaching and telling you guys about, I've actually done. So, for an example, if we look at debt collectors, right? See if I can find it. I have a. I've already gone over this, right? I've already gone over a few things with you guys. I've helped some clients with their. Shout out to everybody that trust me and that actually want to actually do something right. They actually want to do something right, especially it's for the example for the law. We're just going to talk about the FDCPA, which I've gone over several times in the FCRA. So I've successfully been able to take debt collectors and the credit reporting agencies to court. They settle out of court. They cut me a check. They remove the negative items. So with that being said, if you don't know that your rights are being violated, then I don't know how you're going to actually do something, right? How are you going to improve that, right? How are you going to make a change, right? Because if you do not know what's going on, as I mentioned earlier in one of my tweets, you're just going to continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So if you have a negative item on your report, it's very simple, guys. It's the law says it must be 100% accurate across all three credit reporting agencies. If it's not and you dispute it and they keep it on there, that's a violation of the law. Fair debt collecting practice, Fair debt collection practices at FDCPA. If you tell them to stop contacting you and communicating with you via a cease and desist, and they still contact you, guess what? Violation of the FDCPA, you can take them to court. That's exactly what I did. And so let's jump into here because I've been helping this client with her her documents, right? And I say this to say that I never thought I would want to, do law and study law and think law is popping and I didn't care about law. Like, I didn't care about my like. I knew I had rights, but I didn't really care about them like that because I didn't really know what they were. I didn't know how much I was being violated. I didn't know the power of a trust. I didn't know the power of credit before I started pushing credit and talking about credit restoration. I didn't know the power of investing in Bitcoin, right? Back in the day, right? All these things I'm talking about are past tense. And then I read and learned and implemented and studied and actually, you know, put action, put forth action. So just here's one of my filings, one of the filings I did for this client. She is uh, battling a debt collection, right? So, boom, she's battling a debt collection. They don't have standing per usual because we're going to ask for certain things to ask for, right? And so we did a motion to compel arbitration, which is something that we usually do to deter debt collectors from pursuing the actual debt collection because it costs about $3,000 to $5,000 to initiate the arbitration. So if you owe two, three, four, $5,000, then there's no point of them actually coming after you because they're going to spend that on what the arbitration. So on top of that, they don't have standing. So, anyways, we did a motion to compel arbitration. However, the judge for her said that they're going to do mediation. So I don't know. I pretty much created this document, and we're going to help her out with this, right? So what we're doing here, we're going to go over the law, and then that's it with this. So boom. Sui juris, we're not pro se. You can do pro se, but we do sui juris, appearing specially, not generally, all rights reserved, specially, respectfully moves this court to dismiss this action with prejudice. So these all this language that you hear in this in these filings and in law. I know you probably don't like law. You probably don't know nothing about law, but you do need to learn law because if you don't, that's how these lawyers will take advantage of you. That's how you get these banks taking advantage of you. That's how you're, caught up in the mess, right? Or if you have a debt collection or if you have a traffic ticket and you want to flex your rights and you want to fight, right? I don't know about a lot of people don't want to fight. A lot of people don't have that fight in them. So this is not for everybody. But let's continue. So we move the court to dismiss this action with prejudice. That means they can't bring this back up in court for lack of standing, and objects to the referral of this matter to mediation, arbitration, and any other alternative dispute resolution process before plaintiff, which is Midland, has proven it owns the claim it filed. So we withdraw the conditional motion to compel arbitration, withdrawal of conditional motion to compel arbitration. So, in the alternative was expressly conditioned upon plaintiffs producing the Capital One card member agreement containing the arbitration provision. That condition has never been satisfied. Plaintiff has never produced the agreement. Conditional motion was factual. Predicate fails. It's not an admission that the predicate exists. Defendant did not and does not concede that any enforceable agreement between the defendant and the plaintiff has been proven to exist. The extent prior to the motion has been construed as such a concession. Defendant hereby withdraws it without prejudice and expressly disclaims any admission regarding the existence, terms, validity, or assignment of any agreement. The burden of proving the existence of the agreement rests on the party asserting the rights under it. Defendant alternately pleads it does not shift the burden to the defendant and does not relieve the plaintiff of proving its standing. In simple English, we're pretty much saying, hey, we're taking back the motion to compel arbitration because they don't have standing and they need to prove standing before anything is done. Standing is a threshold question that must be decided first. Standing is the threshold requirement. So if they don't show that they have standing, there is no arbitration, there is no mediation, there is no ruling. And if there is a ruling, then you do a motion to vacate, right? Motion to vacate, summary judgment, motion to vacate, motion. You got to do objections, you got to do discovery, you got to do a bunch of things, right? And again, this is probably sounding like rocket science to you, but it's really not rocket science, and it's something that you should definitely learn. And the great thing is now we have technology to help us. But again, they've been doing a lot of weird things to the AI because they know smart people and the regular person has been using AI to help them get out of jams and situations. And what they'll do is they'll put, again, these guardrails up to say, oh, I can't give you legal advice. We're not asking for legal advice. And that's one thing you need to make sure you prompt and tell. I've been talking to you guys about AI I've been using ChatGPT and AI for about 3 years now, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even four. And I've been telling you guys since the beginning that you have to bully your ChatGPT or your LLM is only as smart as you. You have to provide the correct information. You have to know what you're talking about in case it gives you the wrong information. You have to tell it to verify the information. It's called Court Listener, so uh, I tell it to add verified case laws via Court Listener, which is a free service which allows you to search cases and to utilize those past cases in your filing, right? That I tell it to make sure that we are finding case laws relevant in my favor, uh, and add it into the obviously the filing here. So with that being said, let's continue. Dismissal is the only available disposition. We're telling, there must be a standing where standing is absent. Dismissal is the only available disposition. An assignee can acquire no greater right than it was possessed by his assigner. Note, Capital One Group versus Perretta. Perrietta. I don't know how to say that. Perrietta. Where the chain of title was unproven or disputed, genuine issues of material facts exist, and the judgment for the assignee is improper. Plaintiff has produced none of the following: forward flow agreement. So take notes, guys, because this is the things that if you are watching this and you have debt collection and you don't want to pay somebody to help you, like a lawyer, which I don't recommend you do. I don't recommend you paying a lawyer or an attorney. There's plenty of people that know what's going on, and there's even more people that don't know what's going on. So make sure you follow someone like myself, and there's other people out there that know what's going on. I'm not the only one, right? But these are the things that you must ask for. You can use your LLM if you're wise enough and able to prompt it enough to ask for these things in discovery. Then you'll be A-OK. The first thing you want to ask for discovery is the forward flow agreement. The master purchase and sale agreement between Capital One and Midland Management. The bill of sale and accounting level assignment schedule identifying defendant's specific account among those transferred. The original Capital One card member agreement authenticated GAAP compliant books of account from Capital One, and plaintiff has produced none of the documents establishing that it owns this claim. If you don't take notes or screenshot A, B, C, D, and E and use this, if you have a debt collector coming after you, then I don't know what to tell you. The production failures that defeat standing. The forward flow agreement is the master contract governing the alleged bulk transfer. Without it, the court cannot determine whether the transfer occurred on valid terms, what warranties Capital One gave or disclaimed as to accuracy and validity, or whether this account was included. A transfer governed by a contract never placed in evidence cannot be judicially verified. No bill of sale, broken chain of title. No bill of sale and no account level schedule identifying defendant's account has been produced. Midland Funding has already been in a case versus Coleman in 2019, and Midland entity reversed for failure to establish valid assignment. So they already have a record of losing and doing and working on your intelligence. And what happens is that because you don't know better, like I mentioned in my tweet earlier, if you don't know better, then everybody's, feeding off your intelligence and taking advantage of your intelligence, pretty much. Assignee's proof of assignment inadequate, judgment vacated. Midland named debt buyer must satisfy business records exemption through the original creditor's custodian. So and these are the cases. So that's why I don't mind Claude, because the way I be using Claude, and this is public record, so I don't really care. She's okay, I'm okay. It's public record. You can't hide public records, so it is what it is. And these cases are also public records, so you guys can go back and look these up as well. No authenticated GAAP compliant books of account. Capital One National Association is required by federal law to maintain GAAP compliant records, 12 CFR. And this is the law I be trying to tell you guys. Y'all don't even know this. All banks are required to maintain GAAP compliant records. 12 CFR Part 363, 12 CFR 363 2A, and 26 USC 448. Those books are authoritative record of the alleged obligation that have never been produced. Statements of data points, printouts offered through Midland employee are admissible hearsay absent a Capital One custodian. Portfolio Recovery Associates LLC, which is another debt collector versus McDonald in Idaho, in 2017. Debt buyers' credit card statements, investable hearsay, summary judgment reversed. So this is what happens. And I hope you guys are taking notes because this is what happens. They send you a summons, and in the summons, what they'll send you as a proof is proof of your. They won't send proof. I'm sorry. They'll send you bank statements of your actual account. And bank statements is what I've been, and obviously I know this because I've been doing this for a little bit now. I know that bank statements are not, it's not proof of a debt. Anybody can make up bank statements and try to say this is what you owe, right? And because again, 99% of people don't even respond to lawsuits. They don't know how to respond. They don't know what to respond with because you're too busy working and you don't read the law, even though ignorance of the law is no excuse and they expect you to know the law, right? They feed on your ignorance. And because you're ignorant, a lot of people go through these debt collection processes and they get default judgments and they lose every time. But if you pay someone like me, or if you watch this video and you do your own due diligence, you can fight them, or I can help you fight them. And I have a record of doing that as well. And this is the document I created through Claude to help this client. And this is 100% lawful, 100% legal, and there is no license to practice law, okay? Because you're expected to know the law, all right? There is no license to practice law. There's only a bar card association, okay? Please learn what is correct. Please learn your rights. Affidavit must rest on personal knowledge of the creating entity's record. So what they did is what a lot of these banks will do is they'll have some random person that has taken over the quote unquote alleged account, and they'll do an affidavit. But their affidavit is hearsay, which means they don't have any first-hand knowledge, and anything that's not first-hand knowledge is hearsay and cannot be admissible in court or used against you in court. I hope that makes sense. Objection to mediation or arbitration before standing is proven. Arbitration cannot be ordered because no agreement has been proven. So a court may order arbitration, obviously. So boom, I told her Capital One actually does not have an arbitration agreement, but all these other damn banks do, which is so funny. And that's okay. We just did it to file it, and we said, hey, we can do arbitration if that's in the agreement, or we could, try to do the actual mediation. However, like this filing states, is that they need to prove standing before anything. So right, that's what this filing states, because she went to court and the judge said, or the plaintiff said that they were open to doing mediation. And so because of that, she called me and she was like, oh, they said they want to do mediation. What's the next step? What should I do? I said, all right, well, no problem. Let's get this done. Next step. No agreement is in the evidence. The court therefore cannot be satisfied that any arbitration clause exists. The plaintiff acquired the right to invoke it, or that this dispute falls within it. An assignee cannot prove the assignment, likewise cannot prove it received the assigner right to arbitrate. So this is basically saying there's no agreement and evidence for arbitration, which of course they did not do arbitration, but they did mediation for this client. So I did both just to cover our butts, right? And also when you are filing sui juris, aka pro se, They are supposed to they're supposed to be liberal with your filings because you're not an attorney or a lawyer. So they're supposed to go easy on you, okay? And that is law. Mediation is premature and futile where the plaintiff cannot prove its own claims, owns the claim. Mediation is a settlement process. Its purpose is to resolve the claim between the parties of a genuine dispute over the claimant. Plaintiff has standing to assert where the plaintiff has produced no evidence that it owns the claim. Mediation asks the defendant to negotiate payment of an obligation that has not been shown that it's owed to this plaintiff at all. Referring this matter to mediation before resolving the standing inverts the proper order of decision and places settlement pressure on the defendant, who has raised a dispositive threshold defense. The effect and law course is to decide standing first. If plaintiff cannot prove ownership, there is nothing to mediate. If plaintiff proves ownership, mediation may then be meaningful. Defendant does not refuse to comply with any lawful order of this court. If the court directs defendant to appear in mediation, defendant will appear. Defendant states expressly, however, and also because this client doesn't really understand a lot of what I'm doing with trust and how to structure yourself, and your name should be an LLC, which it already is, because it's in all caps. You shouldn't call yourself a defendant. You should actually call yourself something else, but again, we're not going to dive into that. But you should never call yourself a defendant. But defendant here states expressly, and because this, again, I'm not going to put anything too crazy in these filings if you don't understand what's going on, right? Because I tell all my clients, hey, make sure you read this, understand it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll even break it down to you in the 8th grade reading level. So that way, no matter what, you know what's going on and the options and what can possibly happen. There's appeals, there's vacate, judgment, motion to stay, a bunch of different things that you can file in regards to this. So, however, that any such appropriate appearance, is made under protest, especially and not generally, and does not constitute a waiver of standing objection, admission that any debt is owed, admission that the plaintiff owns any claim, admission that any agreement exists between the defendant and plaintiff, a waiver of any rights, claim, defense, including all rights under the United States Constitution, Rhode Island Constitution, the Federal Arbitration Act, FDCPA, 15 U.S.C. 1692. Defendant will not tender payment, execute any settlement, or make any admission at mediation, absent plaintiff's production of documents as identified in Section 3 above. Also, we want to also do this. We prayer for relief. We can be, and again, this is just a regular client. It's not really that big of a deal, but it is that big of a deal. I guess in bigger cases, and when you start to understand the language and what's going on, you don't want to say certain things. Again, a Bible is fact in the courtroom. They make you put your hand on or they make you swear or affirm, right? You're not supposed to swear on the Bible. You're supposed to affirm, because even in the Bible it says, "Do not swear on the Bible," and just tell the truth, right? You shouldn't need to do all this extra stuff, right? But affirming is fine. But you don't want to be praying for relief. You pray to God. You don't pray for relief to a court. You're praying to the court, which is something you shouldn't be doing. But again, for this, it's a debt relief. It's not that serious. But again, terminology and language and positioning really does matter. Defendant respectfully prays that this court dismiss this action with prejudice for lack of standing, failure of proof. Decide the threshold question of standing before referring this matter to mediation, arbitration, or any other alternative dispute resolution process, except the withdrawal without prejudice of the defense conditional motion to compel arbitration, the factual predicate for that motion never having been produced. Order that any appearance by defendant at mediation or arbitration is without prejudice to and does not waive the objection of standing, right, or claim of defenses. Order plaintiff to produce admissible form, forward flow agreement, bill of sale. And the reason why they don't want to send this to you guys is because they can't. They can't produce it because they can't. They buy it in bulk, and they have to identify what's going on. Strike any middleline affidavit offered to authenticate capital's records for lack of personal knowledge. and then grant other relief that this court seems justice and proper. So that's is the filing here. And the reason why this is important is because even though it's only, I think it's a couple grand, I'm not even sure how much it is. Stop letting these people bully you, man. Stop being a clown. Stop being a lame. Learn your rights. They gonna take you up, because imagine if she didn't contact me, right? If she didn't contact me, or if I wasn't able to be found and people knew that I offered the service to assist people with their cases that are already being tried, or they're already, some people, if you get a judgment, most people don't even know that you can do a motion to vacate judgment. You can do a motion to stay. If you're getting wages garnished, you can do a motion to stay. This is, but again, we don't read and we don't know the law, so we don't even know that these things are options. And so, once you know better, you should do better. And then once you get the information and you acquire the knowledge, then you just gotta do better. That's all, man. So hey, we're just trying to express the importance of knowing the law, knowing your rights, and fighting against these banks that securitize your note, are just services of the note. You're the creditor, they're not the creditor. What else? Fractional reserve banking. The whole shebang, right? We're not going to dive too deep in here because I don't want to dive into that. But again, you guys should definitely read modern money mechanics. You guys should definitely read the law. It's crazy. And the last thing I'm gonna say here before I log off is, it's funny that the mainstream media will fight tooth and nail to keep you sleep, dumb, fat, lazy, dependent on doing no research, right? And for the most of the Bitcoiners, hopefully this doesn't apply. But for the average person, this applies 100%, right? Because most people don't read. Most people take whatever the news says at face value, which is disturbing. Most people don't have common sense. IQ is lower than ever, in my opinion. People are stupider than ever, in my opinion. People are just wild out here. But these are the times that we live in. So I say that to say this, right? Just because it's said on the news doesn't mean it's true. As a matter of fact, whatever they say on the news, do the opposite, which I've been saying for years. Okay? Not only that, of course they're going to tell you the wrong information. Of course they're going to tell you you don't have the ability to do X, Y, Z. Why do you have to have a license to carry a firearm or a license to fish when you have a right to bear arms? Can you guys explain that to me? Why does the city have a ordinance where it violates your rights, such as for an example, no amplified speaker on the street? That's a violation of the Constitution of the United States of America, Amendment 1, right? The First Amendment. You guys need to get down to you guys don't even know that your name is a business, a sole prop that is owned by the United States, which is a corporation, which is why you get taxed. You guys don't even know that part. You guys don't even know that part. You guys are not even Americans. Americans fought over taxes, but your ass is paying taxes. Why are you paying taxes when you are literally exchanging your time for money? You're not making a profit. You're exchanging your time for money. When I spoke about this years ago, they said I was crazy. They didn't have to say I was crazy. They just acted like I was crazy. Nobody wanted to listen. Before, it's so crazy because before all this Donald Trump talk about taxes thing came out, I was been talking about taxes. I've been telling you guys about the taxes. Taxes. Americans do not pay taxes. U.S. citizens do. And if that don't make sense to you, then you need to go back in time, go back to school and find out why did we break away from England, UK. It was for taxes. Most Bitcoiners are not sovereign. Y'all exactly, because if Bitcoiners were really sovereign, they would be on that sovereign movement like I am, right? You would learn the law, you would learn to move in trust, you would learn that, okay, wow, the reason why I'm paying taxes is because I'm using the social security number. You can only control what you create, so you did not create that social security number. You need to create an EIN for your trust and move through the trust. And the trust is a private contract, and the government cannot interfere with a private contract, specifically and explicitly the 508c1a, and also an unincorporated association, which is just an unincorporated business or unincorporated entity, which unincorporated means you don't have to register with the state. Anytime you register something with the state owns it. You don't own anything. Why are you having to ask permission to operate and to do things? I operate out of a private member association. Again, the 508c1a is a tax exempt entity by definition, which means it doesn't have to file by default, which means you don't have to pay taxes if you're operating through the trust, which you shouldn't be operating through your you shouldn't be operating through your social security number anyway. You should be operating through the EIN, which I just spoke about. Yeah, so that's that. Let's see. Let's continue. Oh, okay. Here again, in a book, because I love to read, something that y'all don't do. Here it is again. Stated 401ks are in your favor if you get poor returns. So if you're about poor returns, and you get taxed the most later on in life, which taxes are going to be way more than they are today by the time you retire. It's just a breath of fresh air to read successful individuals state things that I've been saying for years. Boom. So let's just read that. A Roth IRA with 1.7 is much better than a Roth IRA with 507, right? This also means that the Roth IRA is more effective with a higher return and less effective with a lower return, which is the opposite of a traditional IRA or 401k. The evidence is clear. The IRA or 401k only works in favor with poor returns, but it becomes a tax nightmare if you earn a higher rate of return. So once again, I include an IRA is only effective for those who are okay with mediocre returns on their retirement account. Is that you? Y'all be thinking I'm just online talking shit just to talk shit. I don't even like to talk shit. I like to talk truth. And if you can't handle the truth, then that's on you. And if you've been indoctrinated, which you are, you think that the cops are allowed to do the shit that they be doing to you, or the people, right? I've been seeing, and of course, we see the videos online, and then you got the idiots in the comments and the sheep in the comments that are just conditioned and been programmed, right? Just like you were conditioned and programmed to take the vax. Just like you've been conditioned and programmed to fucking work a 9-to-5 job, which your pay has not gone up, but everything else around you has gone up. So by your logic, I don't know. By your logic, there is no logic because that's not logical. That's not logical. Because if it was logical, what you doing? I'm about to wrap up here in a second. Stream. How was your day today, brother?
I had to run some errands.
Huh?
What's wrong?
Oh, you didn't trade today?
A little bit.
A little bit?
mean,
I didn't trade today.
Laws, huh?
I didn't trade today.
Yeah, I just bought some laws.
Bought some laws? Okay, we gonna see how that play out. All right, so my bad, guys. That was my homie. Oh, here we go. Pay zero in taxes, yet you do. Better learn the game. Okay, so yeah, let me ask you guys this. Trump reports over $1.4 billion from cryptocurrency ventures in 2025, a major raise in income since whatever. But he made $1.4 billion. I bet you he don't pay no taxes on it. Do you know why he don't pay no taxes on it? Do you know why? Do you know why he don't pay no taxes on it? You should. I just went over it. They still haven't figured it out yet. Wealthy people don't pay taxes, man. I don't know. The Amish people don't pay taxes. Wow, I didn't even realize. that got so many retweets and likes. If you pay taxes, you're not American. You're a citizen. And so why can Donald Trump not pay and others not pay? Huh? Riddle me this. Roddy,
Yeah, I'm not
you not gonna get food?
Huh?
You not gonna
I went and got sushi.
Oh, okay.
I'll just
$5 today, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Eat, chill, and watch my show.
I'm gonna hit you when I'm done.
All right.
All right.
All right, Mr. Daddy.
All right, so cool. Boom. That leaves us up to: do you need help settling or establishing your trust, or want to avoid probate and taxes legally and lawfully? Right. Set up a trust. We can help you out. Boom. Been saying that as well. To all the sheep who don't read, as I've been saying, taxes are voluntary. We got people. We got these people. I don't know if that audio is gonna play though. I don't know if that audio is gonna play, but I'll just retweet it. Y'all go watch it on a different. Y'all watch it after this. How about that? February, I did smart tax tricks for Bitcoin holders. Lessons from Musk and Trump. Wow, they use legal loopholes to cut taxes and protect their wealth. This article breaks it down. Why don't you go read that article? I have articles here. Why don't y'all go read the damn articles that I actually put out? 6 likes. Help your ass save taxes and learn from the wealthiest people, and your ass don't even. 6 likes. Amazing. America was founded on no taxation or representation. Fast forward to 2025, Brian paying 47% tax before lunch. Paying taxes is un-American, and that's a fact. U.S. citizens pay your taxes and shut up. That's right. If you're a U.S. citizen, I don't want to hear your mouth. Corporate life. This is 2023. Corporate life taxes. 1099. Donald Trump LLC. $600. What's this? Yeah. That was 2023. So almost 3 years ago on that one. So they threaten you to pay taxes, which isn't even spent on roads and infrastructures, which are lies, but have been enriching themselves to spend money abroad and spending it on other nonsense. Sounds about American. Only U.S. citizens pay taxes. I'm American. Get it right, sheep. I'm dropping little tidbits how you literally pay little to no taxes. If you set yourself up the right way, I'll give you examples of how the Amish and Jewish people do it. If you don't believe it, look it up. That's why I'm trying to tell people. Don't believe me. Don't believe anything I say. Because even though I know what I'm talking about, you don't know me, right? I mean, you should know me, but you don't know if what I'm saying is true, right? You shouldn't take anything that anybody says at face value. Go look it up. I encourage you to look it up. Look it up. Before you rebut, before you complain, before you say it's wrong, before you're saying I'm right, look it up to confirm within yourself so that way you know within yourself. Here in March, I went over the 508c1a irrevocable trust, which I've been talking about. If you're financially illiterate, I don't want to hear if you on taxes on laws because you don't read about finances, and I know you're not reading about laws and policies. Absolutely, bro. A lot of people got a lot of opinions and don't fucking read, bro. Shit's annoying. Shit is stupid, bro. I don't want to hear your opinion, bro. Did you read? Where did you read that at? I don't want to hear that you heard it on TikTok or you heard it on Facebook or you heard it on the news. I don't want to hear that because that's 100% inaccurate and wrong. Where in the law or in the book, in a book, did you read that? Because if you did not read that in a book, I don't want to hear it. If you turn your side hobby into a business and you work your regular job, you're able to deduct your expenses from your business from your W-2 income and pay less taxes. This is in 2023. I've been telling y'all That's all you really had to do. You can you can be a food blogger, a blogger, right? You can do whatever your favorite. My example that I brought up was food blogger. So the people that love food, get your ass a camera. Boom. Go to a restaurant. Record yourself eating the food. So your gas to go food to go eat, tax write off. Your food, tax write off. Your camera, tax write off. If you go on vacation and then eat, that is a write off. So there's things that you can do to minimize your W two taxes for your W two income. And again, uh, there's ways for you not to pay any taxes. But this is just an example. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I am an attorney in fact. Okay? And I know how to read and I know how to comprehend and I know how to break things down. I'm not stupid. So I'm not giving anybody any financial advice or legal advice. This is lawful information, and this is for educational and informational purposes only. Let that be stated here and now. Let that be understood. Student loans versus payment into Bitcoin wealth, a simple flywheel strategy. I did a strategy where people that are tied up in student loans, instead of you paying all that bread into student loans, you put all that money into Bitcoin and then you become wealthy just by simply doing that instead of doing what you are enslaved to do, which is to pay for student loans, which are excessively expensive and running rampant and absolutely stupid in my opinion. But you know, it is what it is. Not surprised the taxes paid for the elected officials to commit fraud and be corrupt nationwide. Why are you surprised about this? We're definitely not surprised about that. Or I mean, you may be. Trust and life insurance policy to avoid paying taxes is the hack. Do your own research. 2023. So again, I've been talking. When I say I've been saying these things for years, I've literally been saying these things for years. Literally. Did you know that you can benefit from having kids as a tax write-off for your business? Oh, did you know that? There goes another option right there. So on top of your food business, if you go and bring your kids and you have your kids do the filming, your kids is the cameraman, and you just create positions for them. That's 24,000. You can pay them 12,000 each year out of your uh, any income that you may be making or revenue that you may be making in your business, and it's just a tax write-off. Not sure if you can do a credit for that, but I know you can do research and development for the credits for that. And then let's see. A millionaire playbook, Bitcoin, IUL, and the habit that actually builds wealth. What do you know? What is this? What is this? January. All right, let me find this last one real quick. Imagine simply transfer your Bitcoin or real estate into a 5-way C1A trust and then poof, no taxes. God is the greatest. That's literally all you have to do. But y'all don't listen. Y'all keep being sheep. Even Nayib Bukele says this, and this was 2024, which I think I posted. Yeah, okay, that's 2024. Inheritance tax, start a business tax, pay your employee tax, earn your salary tax, invest your money tax. Nope, unless you get a trust. This is 2021. I'm telling y'all to get a trust and structure it correctly. Inheritance is not taxed. How's it taxed if you have a trust? Start a business is not taxed. You have to structure it correctly, but you don't have to pay taxes on. There's a certain way. There's a right way and a wrong way to do everything, and I'm not telling you to do the wrong way of doing anything. I'm telling you to learn the right way, read, and then you'll be able to do tax avoidance lawfully, not tax evasion, which is illegal. So, trust is for the rich and the will is for the poor. A will still got to go through probate and have the government all up in your business and you're still taxed. 2023. Trust, private paperwork, private conversations, and the beneficiaries get access to all the benefits and don't have to pay taxes. 2023. All right, so yeah, if you're born here, you're Native American. If you're not born here, yes, it's not Native American. Here we go. This is the last thing, and then I'm gonna search for the. There it is. It's too much sauce. Too much sauce. All right, so boom. Why 401ks are problematic based on data and facts, hidden fees, and compounding costs. 401ks are notorious for hidden fees that erode long-term investment gains. According to the data from the Center for American Progress, the average 401k fees are around 1% annually, but can range from as high as 3% or more when factoring administrative, investment, and advisory fees. Example of fee impact: initial investment $100,000, annual return average 7%, 1% fees after 30 years, 1% fee, approximately $574,000 without fees to $761,000 loss of fees, around 24% of your total return average savings disappear seemingly to a small annual fees, taxes, consequences, and penalties. Traditional 401ks are tax deferred, which means you pay taxes at withdrawal. Withdrawals are taxed as ordinary income, often significantly higher than capital gains rates. Federal ordinances tax rates up 37%. State taxes. Early withdrawal penalties before the age of 59, 10% plus ordinary income tax. Early withdrawal at age 50, 50,000. Federal income tax, 24%, 12 bans. Early withdrawal penalty, 5 bans. Total loss, 17 bans. This is crazy. That is crazy. Immediate loss. Limited access and control, locked up until 59 and a half. Otherwise, serve penalties applied at age 73. Required minimum for distributions. The IRS mandates annual withdrawals regardless of market conditions or individual needs. Roth 401k versus traditional. So there you go, man. And then why would you have a 401k when you can use Bitcoin as your 401k? I don't get y'all, man. Because they're matching me. They're gonna match me. Why are you're matching a dying currency? Make it make sense. You're gonna match a dying currency and then be taxed more on the match. They only match you a certain percentage too, right? They don't match you everything. They only match you up to like. Let me look it up because I don't know the answer. Why are people glorifying sending to school to kids that teach them how to be sheep? No financial literacy, nothing about taxes, nothing about credit, nothing about money, nothing about Bitcoin, and nothing about trust and taxes. I said taxes, right? Yeah. He's just paying taxes on Bitcoin. All right, so let me go ahead and finish up with this. I know I said I was going to be done a minute ago, but the rant is strong today. All right, here it is. Application for exemption from Social Security and Medicare taxes and waiver of benefits. This is just one of the forms. And I shared this back when? 2024, 2 years ago. But hey, what do I know? I've only been talking about this thing since 2021. What do I know? I've only been talking about trust since 2021. What do I know about Bitcoin? I've only been buying Bitcoin since 2017. What do I know about fixing people's credit, been helping people fix their credit since 2017, almost 10 years. Crazy, right? I don't know nothing, right? So I'm just a random guy on the internet. Don't listen to me. Form 4029. There you go. There you go. All right, so that's it for today's video, guys. That's it for today's video, guys. We have a bounce looking like happening on the 200-day moving average on the NASDAQ 100, which is right where we're at. Just a little bit lower on the NASDAQ. It's just right here. Excuse me. If I were to go long, it would have to see. It came down and then it filled this gap here. So, um, for me to go long, it would have to break 64.6. And if it doesn't break 64.6, then of course I'm heading down lower. Only two ways it goes, guys: up and down, or three ways: up, down, sideways. Okay. So don't overthink this. Last thing, if you do need help fixing your credit, if you do need help establishing a trust, if you do need help with any of the things that I went over today in today's video, click the link in the bio. I gotta change that link. Go to PW Solutions. Dot info, or just click the link. Let me go to my link tree right now. I need to fix that right now. Solutions.info. You click on contact, or you send me a DM. Credit restoration, business credit, trust formation. If you need help with legal documentation, if you disputed a debt or want to dispute a debt and discharge the debt and go through that process, it is a process. We can help you out through it and educate you on it. Okay. If you're being sued or want to sue someone, we can help you. If you want to build a trust or create your trust, we can help you. Okay. So, and then of course, credit and business credit. So pretty much here to help you guys out. No matter what happens moving forward, you have someone that actually is about that life. It's not scary. Obviously, I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes. However, here we are, right? We're not perfect, but here we are. We're going to do the best way we can each and every, and we do the best thing that we can each and every single day. We're going to make sure that we help each other out, love each other, and make sure that we get on track to get these things popping, right? We got to build the legacy. That's one. So yeah, we just do the best we can. I'm gonna go ahead and get up off here. I got more work to do, more documents to work on, more lawsuits to file, more trust to build, more uh, Bitcoin to stack, more Pokemon to collect and to catch. So with that being said, this is Bitcoin Chris checking out. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, I'll see you online. Of course, they took down my damn IG, but restored Threads, restored Facebook, but IG is still looking crazy. Still looking crazy. But I want to show you guys this real quick as well. Page is frozen. I'm trying to show y'all it's frozen. It's just pretty much the second page that I built. This page here that you guys are looking at, I made this one with Manus, which I love it. I actually love this page. And then the second one, I was going to show you what I made with Z. I want to know which one you guys like better. We'll see if it's going to allow me to show you guys real quick. All right, and finally loaded. So I actually like Manus better, but I like this the way this is as well. This is actually fire. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Z made this super fire. So I did a step-by-step guide for the irrevocable trust, life insurance, and bank loan. It's just an opportunity for you to um, kind of understand and guidelines of what needs to be done and how to structure it. Obviously, this is not the official way that I want you to properly structure it. However, it gives you a foundation and an idea of what you can do. And I just wanted something to be out there so you guys can read and look at. So I just provide the information. The rest is really up to you guys. Death benefit 3.5 million. Loan you only took out 300,000. Your interest accrued. I don't know how the hell it would be 200,000, but okay, 200,000. Again, these are just examples, and again, I just put this together real quick to see, uh, how this thing could make a website for me, and it did an excellent job. Um, I don't recommend you create or do it through an attorney. If you create a trust through an attorney, they're going to charge you like 5 to 10 grand, and it's probably going to be a living trust, and it's going to have no protection because most attorneys and lawyers don't know anything about this stuff, right? There's specific and private lawyers, private attorneys that I would contact, but a regular attorney trying to do your stuff and they're gonna charge you $5 grand and your stuff is still not, secure like that. Nah, I'm Gucci on that. Um, it's really not that hard. You really don't need an attorney or a lawyer to do a lot of things, but they want you to be a sheep and not learning to be dependent on another individual. So even in the Bible it says, "Woe unto you lawyers," right? So even Jesus don't rock with the lawyers. So you should not rock with the lawyers either. Okay, know the law, become an attorney. In fact, lawyers are cool as long as they're cool, right? Lawyers are all right, but attorneys are crazy. So this is just a nice little checklist that you can kind of go through and get the gist of what needs to be done to build wealth and keep it. And again, just showing you guys what I work on, right? So this is just a few things that I try to work on and try to educate people on. And again, this is not the correct structure that I'm showing you guys here. It's just an example and a primary website just for educational purposes. The structure that I'm doing is a lot more creative. It's a lot more structured, and it's way. It's not even crazy. It's really just structured properly, right? And this is just one trust and one LLC. We actually have a holding company. We have a trust. We have two trusts, or one trust, one foundation. You can have as many as you want. So a trust, two trusts, church trust, irrevocable trust, foundation, holding company, LLC. And again, not going to get too crazy and too deep into that. I've already said I'm about to leave, and it's 7 o'clock. So that is the end of today's show. So with that being said, this is Bitcoin Chris checking out. Click that link in the bio. I'm fixing it now. Or just send me a DM or tweet me and say, hey, I need help with my credit, or hey, I need help with trust. Hey, I need help with whatever it is that you need help with. Just send me a DM and I'll help you. And if I can't help you, I'll tell you I can't help you. It's all good. And so with that being said, Bitcoin Chris checking out. Happy Wednesday. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless. Don't be sheep. Stack your Bitcoin and chill. Pokemon, Bitcoin, any other asset that's going to be better than the dollar. Definitely consider that. We'll see how the market reacts. I think we may go down. We could go up. We're going to play it by ear, right? So we'll see. With that being said, we play my jam and we outie.
Never sell my Bitcoin. Held me down through the dark nights when the whole world said let go, let go. I held on tight. Never sell my Bitcoin. Diamond hands through the hard times. Now we shining like the sunrise. We alive tonight. Hold on. Moonlight. Moonlight. Every Never sell my Bitcoin. Held me down through the dark nights when the whole world said let go, let go. I held on tight. Never sell my Bitcoin. Diamond hands through the hard times. Now we shine.